Welcome back. In this video, let's see about OOPS concept. Let's get started with OOPS concept. Let's create one more package for OOPS concept. After that, just try to create one more class within the package. So for this package, we can name it as class name as calculator. And create a main method. Click finish. In OOPS concept, usually first let's start with class and objects. So what is class? So here we have created one class, right? Public class calculator. So what is this class? This class is a kind of entity where we have to define various property in the form of methods and variables, which means we are defining variables, like variables and methods to perform some operations or to perform some actions with the variables. So whatever everything we will do within the class. So what is method and variable? Method and variables are characteristic of particular class. So class is a kind of entity is to define where class is kind of entity where we have to define various property in form of methods and variables. Here we create one variable like int input 1. Again I will try to create one more variable input 2. So which means we have created two global variables. So whatever the variable, usually we will initialize this variable within the main method, right? So if we initialize any variable before the main method or within this class, we will call it as a global variable. Global variable. So then let me create one object. So object means it's a physical entity of a class, which means instead of calling a class, we will create one object. So object is a instance of a class, meaning it is a copy of the specific class. See, if we are creating any one method at here, if we want to refer this method, we need to say this method is available in this calculator. So within the calculator, go and check that method. So instead of referring to calculator, we can create one copy that is an object. So by referring that object, we can able to call or to perform a method. So let's create one object. So how to create one object? So we need to type a calculator. So how we have defined a class name, we need to use the same name at here. It's a case sensitive. So if we define the calculator as a C small letter, then we have to define it like C small. Since I have mentioned as a C capital, I am using as a calculator. So now I need to enter one reference object. So I have created one reference value for this object. So equal to new is a keyword creating one object for which class I'm going to create one object for this calculator. So new calculator, open and close bracket, then finally type semicolon. So this new calculator is the object. This new calculator is the object. This cal, right, it is a reference value of that class. Reference value of class, or reference variable of class, or object variable. Object variable. So we can create many objects for the same class. So which means, for example, if you are trying to do some for example, if you are trying to add two values, we can create more objects and we can pass different values in different objects. For example, here we have created one object, right, for calculator. I can able to create one more object for the same class, but I can't able to use the same name at here, same object reference value. I can't able to use the same object reference, object variable. So here I am just using calculator 1. Again I'm just trying to create one more object for the same class. Here I'm just trying name it as cals2, which means for this class we are creating three objects. So we are creating three memory for this class. So in each memory, this input variable will copy into each class. So if you are passing any value to this input, for example, by using the reference variable, if I pass 10 to input 1, it doesn't mean for in cal 2 in the cal 1 reference variable also, it doesn't mean input value is 1. It is a different memory. This is different memory. Whatever we are storing by using this object, it will be only for this. For example, what I'm trying to say is, let's see, this is one variable, sorry, this is one object, and let's create one more object. So right now we have created three objects. So this one is cal, this is cal1, this is cal2. So if you created a reference object for, if you create three objects for a class, then it will create three memory. So in each memory, we have initialized a variable, right? This variable will copy into three objects. So here also it will have input 1, input 2. It will get copied in both, in all the three objects. So if I pass a value for this memory, for example, if I pass input 1 equal to 10, it doesn't mean the same value will be goes to here also. It doesn't mean same value will go to the all the object. Since it's a different memory, we can able to store a different value. Here we can able to store 20. Here we can able to store 25 also. So it's a different one, it's a different one, it's a different one. So these three objects are a different memory. See, example, if I pass in cal dot input 1 equal to 10. So let I print sys out cal 1 dot input 1. So it will print. And one more thing, so during the time of execution only it will create an object. So even though if we have initialized, memory won't create now. During the time of execution only memory will get create. So I try to execute this. So it has printed 10 for this. So let I try to print the same for by using cal 1. Let's see the result. See, for cal dot input is 10, but cal underscore 1 dot input 1 is 0, because we have in this is I have previously I said, right, this is separate memory space, this is separate memory space, this is separate memory space. Once you create one object, each memory space will be created for each object. So within the object, whatever the variable we are creating, it will make a copy in each object. So if we are doing any operation by using this object reference, if we are doing anything by using this object reference, okay, if we are doing anything with this object reference, then that action and the value will store only within this memory. It won't get passed to the another memory. And whatever we are doing with with the reference of cal1, then it will store only within this memory. For example, if I try to cal1 dot in underscore 1 dot input 1 equal to 20, I can do this. So if I try to print the same, now input 1 is, we have defined only one variable, it's a global variable, but it will take a copy for each memory, each object. So in each object, the input 1 value of input 1 is different. So if we do any operations, for example, if I create one more object like input sum, for input 2, if cal dot sum equal to cal dot input 1 plus cal dot input 2. So the result is 30, but the same thing, if you are doing this, then here the result is 50, because input 1 is 20, input 2 is 30. If we try to print any cal dot sum, let's print this. See, we have done two different operation with two different input, right? Two different object, and we have used two different inputs. So the end result has been different based on the object reference. So this new calculator is an object, and cal is an object reference variable of the class. Let's see about method in the next video.